Okay, good evening, all. I don't know if I'm audible. Dr. Salim, hello.
Yeah, Alpha, you are audible.
Okay, thank you very much. Good evening, all. Thank you for finding time to join us this evening uh, on the ARD 8 weeks hybrid workshop on research methodology. My name is Dr. Alpha Mohammed. And this evening, we're going to be having one of our presenter, Dr. Malemi Muhammad Bello, who is going to be giving us a talk as part of our week one, day one activities on the introduction to research and study design. I would like to, first of all, call on Dr. Sali Shaibu to give us an opening prayer. Dr. Sali.
Okay, Sallallahu Alaihi Nabi Karim.
Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam.
Okay, as we gather this evening, here this evening to for this program, we pray that the knowledge we are going to be impacted with this evening will be beneficial for us in management, in taking care of our patient, in anything we do as far as our health is concerned. Thank you, everyone, once again. Allah accept our
Okay.
prayer.
Okay. Thank you very much, Dr. Salu, for that concise prayer. Next, I would like to call on the workaholic ARD Udut's president to, in person of Dr. Mujitaba Umar, to give us an opening remark. Dr. Mujitaba, are you online?
And Mr. President is yet to be online.
Okay. Maybe in that case, I think we can quickly go ahead and recite the citation of our presenter this evening in person of Dr. Malemi Muhammad Bello. I will be doing that myself. Dr. Malemi Muhammad Bello hails from Tambuwal local government area of Sokoto State, Nigeria. He began his education at Buhari Model Primary School in Tambuwal before proceeding to Nagarta College for his junior secondary education. He later attended the Federal Science College in Ogoja and then subsequently gained admission into Usmanau Danfodiyo University, Sokoto, where he obtained his MBBS degree. He further earned a master's degree in public health. Dr. Bello is a fellow of the National Postgraduate Medical College of Nigeria in community medicine. He has also completed several professional trainings, including an advanced tuberculosis training certificate in the United States of America, among others. He is a senior lecturer at the iconic Open University and a visiting lecturer at Northwestern University, Sokoto. And in addition, he serves as a consultant in the Department of Community Medicine of the Usmanau Danfodiyo University Teaching Hospital, Sokoto. He is happily married and blessed with 4 children. That is a short and concise citation of Dr. Malemi. So I think, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to present you with our presenter in person of Dr. Malemi, as he gives us a lecture on the introduction to research and study design this evening. Good evening, sir.
Yeah, good evening, Dr. Alpha. Good evening, everyone. Today, we are going to start our annual program, which is research methodology in medicine. And today is the one and week one. So we pray that may Allah help us through and guide us throughout the program. So I'm going to share my screen now so that we start.
Okay, good evening, Mr. President. So I think the president is here. I don't know, while you share your screen, I don't know if you can just give us a short and a concise opening remarks, sir.
Oh, thank you so much, Dr. Afar. Please let it be later after the presentation of our teacher.
Okay, it's okay.
Okay, thank you very much. I hope my screen is being seen by everyone.
No, not yet, sir.
Okay. Uh, Still, you can see it.
Yes, sir. Escape from slideshow. If you're
Okay.
already on slideshow, escape from slideshow,
Okay.
and you go to the Zoom navigation panel and click on the share button. Then the box will open and you tap to replace this current share.
Okay.
Is the Zoom navigation showing with the arrow pointing upward share?
Yes.
Okay. When you click on it, the box will open.
So I'm
Yes, yes,
sharing.
good, 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 yes. Then slideshow.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. So good evening once again. Today we are going to start our program. That is the research program, research methodology in medicine, and we are going to discuss many things in research methodology, including the data analysis, inshallah. So today we are going to look at the introduction to research, and then we now discuss the study designs. So um, by way of introduction, You see, let's look at the definition of research. What is research? So research came from a French word, searcher. This means to seek or to search for something, to search for something. So it's an attempt to solve or gain a solution to a problem. Therefore, research refers to a thorough systematic investigation into nature and society in order to add value to the existing knowledge and or generate a new knowledge. So whatever we are doing in our own research is either to add our whatever finding we have found, to add it to the existing knowledge, or to generate a new knowledge that is not even there. So this is the main focus or the main aim of every research. It is to add either to add to the existing knowledge or to generate a new knowledge that is not there. So it is also a systematic process of collecting and analyzing information in order to increase the understanding of the world in general, to increase our understanding of the world in general and of the phenomenon under study in particular. So we are doing this research also. We collect data, analyze this data, and at the end of the day, to do what? To increase our understanding of the world. When we collect data from something and we analyze it, it is going to, whatever information we have gotten or result we have gotten will help us in understanding many things about this world, or it will help us in the phenomenon under study, in understanding the phenomenon under study. Whatever phenomenon we have investigated, it will help us to understand it more. It is also the process of collecting, gathering data and information by a scientific or logical procedure that aims to solve a particular scientific problem. So that is one of the purpose of our own research here. We see a problem and we now think this problem need to be researched on. So when we research on it, we are going to find out the solution to that problem. That is another main purpose of a scientific research. So it is also a honest and scientific investigation that is being undertaken for the purpose of discovering new facts or establishing new relationship among facts that are already known, which will continue to the which will contribute to the present body of knowledge and can lead to an effective solution of existing problem, as we have already said earlier. So these are the purpose of research. I think we don't need to go through them. Then the characteristic of research. We also, so we have types of research. A scientific investigation involves, so we have two main types of research. One, basic or pure research, and two, applied or practical research. So let's look at the two types of research now. A basic research is a scientific investigation that involves the pursuit of knowledge for knowledge sake, just to get to undergo a research in order to gain knowledge of something. That's all about basic research. So the purpose of the basic research just is to generate and refine theories, build constructs. Thus, the findings may not be directly useful in practice. You only want to do it for the sake of knowledge, to have the knowledge about something. So that is the main purpose of pure or basic research. Example is, how did the universe begin? So you see, if you now want to know how does the universe begin, it's when if even when you finish your research, you finish investigation, and you find out you only did this research, this investigation, in order to increase your knowledge about that, but there is no any practical aspect on it. So that is the basic research. Another example is what are protons, what are neutrons and electrons composed of. So even you don't know, maybe you want to know what is the composition of protons. You now say, okay, I want to know the composition of protons. You now go and do your research about it and find out. The only purpose of this type of research is to generate knowledge, to now bring about these are the component of protons to the world. That's all, to generate knowledge about it. So this type of research is called pure or basic research. Then applied research is a knowledge. Knowledge is not the sake, but seeking new applications of scientific knowledge to the situation of a problem. That is the applied research. Here, you want to do a research not just because of the knowledge, but because of the application of what you will get in order to help somebody, or in order to create a scientific knowledge about that problem. So the purpose of this one is to solve a problem. You have a problem. For example, now you have seen pregnant women are dying in a particular hospital, irrespective of the other death in this hospital compared to other hospital. So this is the problem you are seeing. You want to now do a research. When you do this type of research, you are going to apply the knowledge in order to prevent this death of pregnant women in this particular hospital compared to other hospitals. So this is the difference between applied research and basic research. In the applied research, you now see a problem and you want to solve this problem from your research findings. So this type of research is the main type of research that we usually do, that we do in our part two works and other uh, uh, um, college researches. So the purpose is to make a decision, to solve a problem, to develop a new program, a new product, a new procedure, or to evaluate a program, or to the program or product or procedure. You have done a program, or you have developed a particular program or procedure. You want to validate it or evaluate it to see whether it is working or not. So this is the type of research that you do, which is called applied research. So now let's look at the general approaches to the research. There are three approaches to a particular, to every research. Any research that you want to do, you will follow one of these three approaches. One, it can be quantitative. Two, it can be qualitative. And three, it can be mixed method research. So a quantitative research is a research that you conduct through questionnaires, through questionnaire questions and answers. You ask questions, and find out the selects the answer, well, you don't know whether it is the real or not the real answer. You just use that answer and analyze. But in qualitative, you now sit down one-on-one.
I think your network went off. You need to reshare screen. Moderator.
Okay, I think Dr. Malemi is having network issues from his end. I plead with us to exercise patience while he worked on it. Hello, sir. Are you with us, sir? I can't seem to find him online.
Now translate
You need to reshare the screen.
all the things that he has told you. You now translate it into the findings, into the facts.
Hello, sir.
So this is the, yeah.
So we can't. I
You
think
said?
we're having a network problem. We can't seem to see your screen. You need to reshare, sir.
Okay. So
Yes, sir.
can you see it now? Can you see the
It's yet to
screen
come
now?
up, sir. Not
Okay.
yet.
Not yet.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Up till now?
Yes, it's yet to come up.
Please. Okay. It's coming up now. Slideshow. Return to back slide.
Okay, it's not right.
From anytime it's about to share.
Yes, I guess it's probably network from his end. Please, let's exercise more patience while he worked on the network issue.
Can you see it now?
It is still yet to come up, sir.
If you're on slideshow, you have to escape from slideshow, then reshare.
Can you see now?
Yes.
Not yet, sir.
Yes. Now reverse to slide 7. Back slide.
Next, okay. What of now?
It's coming up. Okay. It's on. You're on, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So thank you very much. We are on qualitative research. We said qualitative research is inductive, that is from fact to theory. It explores factors that could explain why a given event occurs, and it establishes the patterns develop theory for understanding how and why an event occurs. It deals with the phenomena that are difficult or impossible to quantify mathematically, such as belief, meanings, attributes, and symbols. So as I have explained earlier, in qualitative research, usually you want to explore or you want to quantify the difficult phenomena that are very difficult to quantify using quantitative research. For example, you want to know the belief of people about something. So if you want to know their belief about it, just asking him a close-ended question, asking them close-ended question cannot bring about their belief generally. But if you give them an open-ended question, whereby they will discuss everything about their belief on something. So that is where you can now pick the facts about that belief, about that their belief on that phenomenon. So this is how qualitative research works. Qualitative researchers aim to gather an in-depth understanding of human behavior and the reasons that govern such behavior. The qualitative methods investigate the why and how decision making, not just what, where, and when. So now in qualitative research, you usually you want to know the why. Why have you done this? How did you do it? So if in this type of questions, it's very difficult for you to categorize to categorize the responses. You have to leave it open so that they will explain to you about their why and how. And in that case, you now translate what they said about it and now report it using a qualitative research. Now, quantitative research. Quantitative research is usually deductive. That is, it is from theory to the facts. Here, from theory to facts, you now take the theory about something and you bring it to the facts and bring it or analyze it so that you now bring about facts about it. For example, you ask different questions about this. You want to know where there is a relationship between this and this, if there are association between this and this. You in your research, you only go and take the theories from the field. Now it is when you sit down and analyze it that you are going to bring the facts about that. So it is when you analyze this data that you are going to see whether this factor is attributed to the outcome that you are looking for, or whether this factor is associated with the outcome that you are looking for. So it is from theory to the facts. Then it establishes the cause-effect relationship. Cause-effect relationship, as I have explained. Are you now? You are not seeing it, or you are seeing
Yes,
it?
turn off again. The slide
I
has
don't.
turned off again.
I don't know what is the problem of this. Is it a network problem?
Perhaps, sir.
I don't think it's a network problem. So let me share again and see.
Okay, sir.
Are you seeing it?
It's coming up.
So now you need to click on the bottom, the slideshow on the bottom right.
Okay, it's
Because
visible now.
Mm-hmm.
The slide is visible.
it's like once you click on slideshow, it goes off.
Yes, once I click on slideshow, it goes off. Even now, I come back to the normal distance without slideshow, but
Okay,
it's not showing.
try sharing on the normal without slideshow. Let's see, so that you can click on the slide down up to be sure
Okay.
that it's moving, so that we can manage it at that. For moderator, who can share the PDF copy of the slides?
Okay, maybe can you send it to me? Let's see if I can.
Okay. So
Or
now,
can we do it like
no,
this?
yes,
Can I
click
continue
up.
with this?
I
Yes,
think if you
click
can
on it,
manage
then
it
move
this way,
up.
sir.
Yes, move
Mm,
up and down so that where share is moving before you click one. Yes, so you can go like this. Thank
mm.
you. Go ahead.
So let's continue like this and see.
Okay, sir.
So the quantitative research relates occurrence of a variable with other variables, as I have said, I have explained earlier that when you want to know the relationship between this variable and the other variable, you now go and get the theory and translate it to the facts about their relationship. That is the quantitative research. So then mixed method. The mixed method approach, you now combine the two aspects, the two approaches together in a single research. For example, there are many methods that you see. You want to do a mixed method research. So in that case, you use quantitative research and use qualitative research at the same time. For example, you use quantitative research to know about the relationship about many problems that you have seen. Then you now use qualitative research to know the extent or the belief of the extent of the belief of or attitude of the individuals of your study population about a particular phenomenon. Example, you can use in-depth interview. You interview them, openly. You can also use focus group discussion. So all this, there are all different types of qualitative research. That is focus group discussion. When you now explore, you come together with a team, a particular team members, and now discuss about their issue, about their a particular problem in their community. So you now, in this type of research, you want to explore their different ideas about their belief on that phenomenon that you are discussing. So you can use in-depth interview, you can use focus group discussion, you can also use there are different methods that you can use in this type of research, that is mixed method research. So the mixed method, the other one, you use questionnaire as your qualitative, as your quantitative approach. Then you now use focus group discussion as your qualitative approach, all in one research or in a single research. That is a mixed method research. So these are the qualities of a good researcher. So as a researcher, you should be oriented with research. You, as a researcher, you should just not go to say, I want to research about something without orienting yourself with a research. So you have to be research oriented. Then you have to be efficient. Whatever you say you want to do, you make sure that you do it at a particular time and at a good time, so that you have an efficient time and understanding of what you want to do. Then you have to be scientific. So whatever you want to research on, you have to relate it to the scientific facts. What is the scientific facts about this issue, about this problem, and then use that facts, scientific facts, to now investigate and conduct a research about it. Then you have to be effective. When you say someone is effective, when you see you can be able to get what you want to get. That is, you are effective. If you say, I want to do this, so make sure that you do that. If you want to say, I want to get this, make sure that you get it. So getting what you want at a particular time is your effectiveness about it. Then active. As a researcher, you have to be active. You should not be sluggish about your research, to be reluctant. No, you have to be active always. If you are to go somewhere, go and get what you want to what you want to get there. If you need to call someone and ask him about something, call him and ask him. If you need to go, even to go somewhere, to go to travel, to do this, to do that, just you have to be active in order to get what you want in your research. Then resourceful. You also need to have everything, all the resources that you want. You have to make sure that you are resourceful in your own research. Creative, honest, economical, and religious. So all these things are the qualities of a good researcher. So ethics in research. This is a permit to conduct the study. That is, a permit to conduct a study must be properly sought from an authority. For example, now you want to conduct a research in this hospital. Before starting the research, you must sort the ethical approval from the institution that you want to conduct that research. If it is from the state government, you have to write to the state government that you want to conduct such research. So you now wait until they give you approval for you to do it. So it is not ethic, it's not good to conduct any research without getting approval of that from the authority of that institution or the level, either state, local government, or federal government level authority. You have to get the ethical approval of all the authorities under which you want to conduct your research. Then informed consent. Informed consent is the written information that you give to the respondent, of the research, the person that you want to conduct research on. He has to give you consent to do the research on him. There is no research that is compulsory. So you have to inform every individual that you think you want to enroll into your research. You have to inform them about the research you want to take, you want to conduct. What is there any benefits of this research to them? If there is no benefit, is there any harm that this your research will give to them? So you have to explain everything to them. And if they agree to join the research, to continue with the research, then they now sign your informed consent. That is why it is called a written informed consent. Even if the authority give you the approval, you will not just come and conduct your research on the individual. You have to get their consent also. So they will give you consent. Yes, I agree to join this research and sign. He has to agree and sign. That's all. But you cannot say no. You must join this research or you must take part in this research. No, it is against the law. That is why each and every research should have an informed consent signed, a written informed consent signed. Another ethical issue is the confidentiality. Your research must be confidential. Whatever you find in a, that is why in a research, it is not legal. It is illegal to take the names of your researchers, research individuals, the names and identification of your research individuals. It's better to use code. You code so that you cannot identify a particular person that give out that responded to this type of question, to this question or to this research. That is why it is not advisable to take the names, the phone numbers, the actual address of your research respondent. The only thing you need to do is to give them a code, to code them, so that you will not, you find them by their code, not by their names or by their phone numbers. So that is another ethical issue in research. If each and every research must be kept confidential. Then the researcher must be willing to share the findings of the study with the institution where the study respondent belong. So if the study you are conducting your research in Udut, you must be able to share your research findings to the Udut management, because you use their people, their patients, their workers to conduct your own research. So whatever you get, whatever the result you get from this research, you have to be able to share it with the authority of that institution. Then coercion, that is voluntary participation. Research, I have already explained this, is voluntary. You cannot force anybody to take part in your research. It is totally voluntary, 100% voluntary. If someone can even decide to join now and later on to fall out of it, yes, he has the right. So you can join and dejoin again later. So that is why it is called, it is a coercion. It has a voluntary participation. Then protection from harm. You must protect your research participant from harm. Anything that can harm them as a result of this research, you have to be responsible of that. You have to be responsible in protecting them. You must protect your participants from harm of your research. Then the researcher must consider the potential benefits that the respondent may get from the study. So if there is any benefit you have to now consider this benefit and explain to them. Explain to them these are the benefits of joining this research, or these are the harmful possible harm that you can come out with as a result of this research. So if they agree with all this, then they sign. That's all. The researcher must also observe an intellectual honesty in undertaking such research. You must be honest. You must be honest with everything, whatever you do during the course of your research. So these are the some of the issues, ethical issues in research. So it is very, very important for us to understand these ethical issues in research, so that you not go and take yourself into violating any ethical issue which can later on bring you down or affect you on one way or the other. So that is the ethical aspect of the research. So now let's look at some definitions in the in research. These are some of the useful terms that you will be coming across during your own research. Number one, variable. You will be hearing variable, variable, variable. So what is variable? Variable is a numerical value or a characteristic that can differ from individual to individual in a population or a sample. So in summary, when you say variable, variable is a characteristic of a person or place or animal that can take on any value, that can take up any value, or that can change. For example, a characteristic, if we say a characteristic of a man, man can be tall. So height is a variable. It is a characteristic of what? It is a characteristic of man. It is, when we say height is a variable. Then age, your age is a characteristic of man. Age is also a variable. It can take on any value. You can be 10 year old, you can be 20 years old, you can be 30, anything. It can take on different values. Then your weight is also a characteristic of a man. So it is a variable. So whatever you can think of, a characteristic of anything is a variable. So if you now say a characteristic of place, a place can be rural, it can be urban. So rural or urban is what is a variable. Then a place can be, you can have also occupation of somebody. Your occupation is a variable. So characteristic of a man, animal, or place is called variable. Now observation. What is observation? Observation is a value of a variable of interest that is being measured or collected. So now if we said a variable is a characteristic of something, let me just use an example of age. Age is a variable. So observation, we said, is a value, the value of a variable that is being measured. So I want to measure the variable, which is age. So whatever I measure, whatever I collect as an age is an observation. For example, I have 3 people. Let's say I have 3 people that I want to measure their age. Person number one, I asked him his age. He said his age is 20 years. So you see, that 20 years is the observation. It is the value of a variable that we are measuring. Another person said, I am 35 years old. So you see, we have now 2 observations. 20 years old, 1 observation. 35-year-old, another observation. Then the third person said he is 50-year-old. So we have taken 3 observations now. Observations of our what? Of our variable, which is age. So now you see, our variable is the characteristic. Then our observation is the value of the characteristic we are measuring. Then now let's look at the datum. What is datum? Datum is a record of one or single observation. So now I said I have 3 observations now. I have someone which is 20-year-old, I have 35-year, and I have 50-year-old. So these 3 observations, they are my observations. So if I say datum, a record, if I record only one person, the observation of only one person, that is datum. Only one observation. A record of only one of the observation is datum. Then data. Data is the record of 2 or more observations. When you have more than one observation, it is now become a data. But if you have a single observation, it is a datum. So now the record of these 3 people, the ages of these 3 people, when you record them together, they now become data. I hope we understand. So then population. The population is the largest collection of entities in which you are interested in. Now, the total number of entities that you want to conduct your research on, they are your population. Your population. For example, I want to study, conduct a study on under 5 children in Udut. So my total population now is all the under 5 children in Udut that are coming in Udut. They are my study population. But from this study population, you now take sample. So you now conduct your study on the sample that you have taken from your main population. So the population is the entire number of the population you are interested in your research. So this population is of 2 types. You can have finite population and infinite population. The finite population is also known as the countable population, the population that can be counted, in which the population that is less than 10,000. So if you are dealing with the population that is less than 10,000, it means you are dealing with a finite population. So this one is very important in sample size calculation, because whenever you are dealing with finite population, there is a formula that you will apply in addition to the main formula that you have used in calculating the sample size. So if you are dealing with a finite population, you have to apply the correction formula for finite population. So we will see it later when we now reach that level. But now I want us to understand this. Just you must make sure that you know your population is either finite or infinite. So if it is finite, it means that population is less than 10,000. So now, for example, if you want to conduct a study about a particular number of patients, about a particular population of patients in a given clinic, let's say we want to conduct a study about hypertensive people attending general outpatient clinic in Udut. So you see all the hypertensive people that are attending general outpatient clinic in Udut, are they more than 10,000? They are not up to 10,000. So because of that, you now, in your sample size calculation, you have to apply a finite formula for a finite population in order to reduce the number of samples, the sample size you have gotten from your main formula. You will come to see it in our discussion on sample size calculation. So in infinite population is the population that is more than 10,000. For example, if you are doing a community survey, you see community survey, you enter a community, you want to survey the whole state. So you see the whole state, the number of population in that state is more than 10,000. For example, now you want to conduct your study among under 5 children in Sokoto State. Under 5 children in Sokoto State. You see, this type of population is more than 10,000. So there is no need of applying a formula for finite population in such type of populations. So that is the difference. So the difference in finite population, you need to apply the correction formula during your sample size calculation. While in the infinite population, you don't need to apply any correction formula, because whatever number you have gotten from your calculation, you can get it, because you have more than 10,000 people as your population. So you can get whatever number you have gotten from your sample size calculation. That is the importance. Then sample. What is sample? Sample is a piece of a population intended to represent that population. As I have said earlier, I'll cite an example. Let's say maybe I want to conduct a study among under 5 children that attend Clinic 1 in Udut, or pediatric clinic in Udut. So I cannot get everybody, all the children, all the under 5 children that will attend this clinic. I cannot get all of them. So because of that, I need to now sample. I need to take sample of this population to represent the whole population. So maybe in general, let's say, for example, in general, there are 500 under 5 children that attend pediatric clinic in Udut. So out of these under 5 children, which are the general total population of the under 5 that come to Udut, out of them, I will now maybe select 100 of them as my sample. So this 100% that 100 people that I have selected, they have to be representative of the entire population of these under 5 children. So that is why you have to now calculate your sample size, which you will use as the representative of the population you are interested in. So parameter, what is parameter and what is statistic? Parameter is a descriptive measure that computed from the data of a population. So now if you want to study the whole population, let's say I want to study everybody in Udut, all the children that come to Udut, under 5 children, I want to study them. I don't want to take sample. I want to study all of them. So now I study all of them, and I want to describe their age. I want to now describe their age. So their age description that I will summarize, I will describe. It is called parameter. For example, let's say the mean age of these people in the population, the mean age of under 5 children in Udut is 4 years. Let's say 4 years, 4 plus or minus 2 years. So you see, this mean age of the under 5 children that I have studied generally, I have studied all of them, I now come up with their mean age. So that mean is called parameter because it is from the population, mean of the general population, not mean of a sample. So anything that you want to describe, if it is generally for the whole population, it is called a parameter. So the mean of a population is called a parameter. The median of a population is called a parameter. The standard deviation of a population is called a parameter. So all these things, all the descriptive measures that you can describe the total population, the whole population, is called parameter. While a descriptive measure that you can use to describe a sample now is called a statistic. So now, if now I said, no, I don't want to study everybody. I don't have that money to study everybody, but rather I will use sample. So I take sample from it, from that study population. I now study my sample. So now from my sample, I get the mean age of my sample. So that mean age, that mean from sample is called a statistic now, not a parameter. The median of a sample is called a statistic. The standard deviation of a sample is called a statistic. The mode of a sample is called a statistic. So all these summary measures from a sample, they are called statistic. While these summary measures from parameter, from population, they are called parameter. I hope we understand this also. Then dependent and independent variables. These are also very, very important in our research, especially during analysis. You must know your dependent variable and you must know your independent variable. So what is dependent variable? Dependent variable is the cause. It is the independent of other variables. So whenever you see this is my dependent variable, it means it is your outcome. It's it's not an outcome. It depends. It does not depend on anything, but something depends on it. For example, now you want to know the factors associated with development of malaria in a particular community. So you want to know whether age is associated with development of malaria, whether poor hygiene is associated with development of malaria, whether poor sanitation is associated with development of malaria. So now you see, it means development of malaria depends on what? It depends on other your age, it depends on your hygiene, it depends on your sanitation activities. So it means the independent variable now is what? Is the age, the sanitation practice, the hygiene practice. They are independent because they are the one that cause development of malaria. So that is why they are the causes. All the causes of a particular outcome, they are the independent variable. That variable, that outcome depend on them, but they are not the one that depend on the variable. I hope we understand this. So the outcome depend on its independent variable. It is the dependent variable. Now, the dependent variable is our outcome. So here, the development of malaria is the outcome, and it is the one that depends on what? It depends on the age of the people. So you know, how does it depend on it? Usually, those that are children, those that age 5 years and below, they are more likely to develop malaria compared to what? Compared to the older ones. So it means development of malaria depend on age. Then sanitation, if we say outcome is development of malaria, then independent outcome is what? Is the poor sanitation. Those that have poor sanitation are more likely to develop malaria compared to what? Those that have good environmental sanitation. So it means development of malaria depends on what? It depends on poor environmental sanitation. So these are the differences in dependent and independent variable. I hope we also understand this one. Okay. Measurement of health. This one, I don't think we should discuss it here. Okay, levels of measurement. How can you, what are the levels or what are the scales that you need to measure all these problems that we are saying you want to now measure all these variables? How do you measure variables? There are 4 scales of measurement. We have nominal scales, ordinal scale, interval scale, and ratio scale. Nominal scale is merely classified or categorizes. When you say nominal scale, it's a scale it's a scale that you use to measure data that are categorical. We have categorical data and numerical data. Let me explain this. What is categorical data and what is numerical data? Categorical data is the data that you have measured or you have taken in categories that are in categories. For example, your sex or gender. You see, when you take gender, gender is either male or female, so it's in category, it's not in number. When you say marital status, either married, single, widow, so it's in category, it has been categorized into either married, widow, or single. Then educational status is also categorical. It's either you are primary, secondary, or tertiary. Then level of stages of disease can be stage 1, stage 2, stage 3, can be mild, moderate, severe. So they are all categories. While numerical data is the type of data that you have taken in numbers. For example, number of children, it is one, either 2 children, 3 children, 4 children. Your age is either 25 years, 30 years, 40 years. They are numerical data. Your weight can be 20 kilogram, 21 kilogram, 30 kilogram, 8 kilogram. Your height can be in meters, 1.2 meter, 1.3 meter, or 20 centimeter, 30 centimeter, in numbers. So these are the types of data we have. Categorical data that is in category, then numerical data that is in number. So all this type of data, there are different ways of measuring them. We said nominal scale. Nominal scale is a scale that we use to measure the categorical data that are in categories, as we have explained. Then ordinal scale. Ordinal scale is also used in measuring data that is in categorical data. But here, it is in category, but it's in order. It is in order. For example, mild, moderate, severe. It is in category, but it follows a certain order. You see, you have to start with mild before you reach the moderate. You have to go to moderate before you reach to severe. Another example is primary, level of education. Level of education start with what? Primary, secondary, then tertiary. You cannot, at one time, at the starting point, you cannot start with tertiary. You have to follow the order. So that any variable that is measured in order, it is ordinal scale that is used to measure that variable. So two of the scales are used to measure nominal variables, while 2 are used to measure ordinal or numerical variables. So numerical variables are also classified into 2. We have discrete variables and continuous variable. The discrete variable is the number that doesn't take any decimal point. It doesn't take any fraction. For example, number of children. Number of children, you cannot have 1.5 children. You cannot have 2.6 children. It has to be a whole number. So anything that has to be a whole number, that it must be a whole number, it is called a discrete variable. For example, number of children, number of days. So you see, you have 20 days. You cannot have 20.5 days. You cannot have 20.7 days. You must have it complete, 20 days, 3 children, 4 children. So these are the type of discrete, example of discrete data. While continuous data is the one that can take off any value. It can take decimal points, it can take fractions. For example, weight of somebody. The weight of somebody can be 2.5 kg, 10.7 kg, 40.5 kg, 40 kg, 30.3, 30. So it can take different fractions. So this is the continuous variable. So now the interval scale is the scale that is used to measure data in continuous variable, but data that is doesn't have a 0 decimal point, or that doesn't have zero value, true zero value. For example, now, what is the example of data that doesn't have 0 point, true 0 point? Is temperature. So for example, if you say 0 degrees Celsius, there is a temperature at 0 degrees Celsius, but you cannot have 0 kilogram. Once you say 0 kilogram, it means there is nothing. There is no weight at all. But if you have 0 degrees Celsius, there is temperature at 0 degrees Celsius. So it means that 0 is not a true 0. So any variable that has this type of 0, that variable is measured in interval scale. That is temperature in degrees Celsius, Apgar score. So you see, Apgar score also. Apgar score of 0 doesn't mean that somebody doesn't have anything. No. Apgar score of 0, there is something, but that one is very low. Descent in temperature of 0, it means the temperature is very low, but there is something there. So that is interval scale. All the variables that are measured in this, they don't have true 0 point. Then ratio scale. Ratio scale is the type of scale that you measure the variables that are measured in number, but they have a true 0 point. For example, age. When you say somebody is 0 age, 0, you don't have 0. It means there is that person doesn't exist because he doesn't have anything on age. If you say 0 kilogram, it means there is no weight at all, 0 kg. There is no. That is, it has a true 0 point. It has a true 0 value. So that is the different scales of measurement. Then type of data, I have already explained this. We have qualitative data and quantitative data. Qualitative data is the one that is measured on nominal and ordinal scale, and it is in categories. We said it can be either in categories, can be either nominal or ordinal. Then quantitative data, we said it is the one that is measured in number, which can be either discrete, that is the whole number, or continuous, that is, it can assume fractions or decimal points. So these are the types of data. Now, study designs. So I think the time is too small for us. So we will start with the study design. Maybe when we finish, even if it is one study design, we can now continue tomorrow, inshallah. So
Yes,
study designs are the set of methods and procedures that are used to collect and analyze data in a study. A research design is a strategy for answering your research question using empirical data. Creating a research design means making decisions about it, about your overall research objectives and approaches. So let's look at the classification. You see, we have the study designs are generally classified into two. We have descriptive and analytical studies. Descriptive studies are also classified into studies that are conducted at individual levels alone, and those that are conducted at the population level. So those are the studies that are conducted at individual levels include what? Case reports, case series. We know all this. Most of us have done these case report and case series studies. Then we have cross-sectional studies. Then the study that is conducted on the population is called correlational study. We are going to see all of them in detail. Then analytical studies. Analytical studies are also classified into two. We have observational studies and interventional studies. The observational studies can be either case control or cohorts. So cohort is also divided into two. We have prospective cohort and retrospective cohort. While our interventional study, which is experimental study, example is what? Clinical trials or community trials. They are all interventional studies. So let's look at descriptive studies generally now. Descriptive studies, the first step in epidemiological investigations. So now, whenever someone wants to investigate something, the initial thing that you will do is what? The initial investigation or the initial study design that you do to investigate that is what? Descriptive study. These studies they are studies that investigate the occurrence and distribution of disease in a defined population. They generate information which can guide testing hypotheses between health event and associated factors using analytical designs and experimental studies. It describes general characteristics of the distribution of a disease or health condition in relation to person, place, and time. And it makes no attempt to analyze or links between exposure and effects. So let me quickly explain this. Descriptive studies usually are studies that you conduct in order just to describe something. You don't want to go further to find out the reason why that happened. You only want to describe. For example, you now want to find out the frequency and percentages of some problems, some diseases in a particular given environment. In a given environment, you just want to know what are the people who are the people affected by this problem. For example, this problem, is it affecting children, or is affecting young adults, or is affecting older children? Who are the people affected by this problem? So you find out, okay, this problem is affecting more of children. So you just describe it. The problem is affecting children. That's all. You don't want to go further. You don't want to go further and know to find out why are only children affected, not adults. So if you didn't go further, that means you now stay at the descriptive study. So whenever you say you want to conduct a descriptive study, the descriptive study only describe. It doesn't go ahead to know why. That's all. You now just know who are affected, which place is this problem is more. For example, okay, children are more affected. You now describe it. Okay, only children are affected. Then which place is usually this problem is more affected? So this place you now describe, you say this problem is affecting people in Lela local government more than other LGS. It means you are describing the problem in terms of place, in terms of person and place. Then what time is this problem more? Maybe this problem is more commonly during rainy season. So you see, you are only describing. You are not bringing out the issue, the causes. You are not bringing out the why. You are not bringing the question of how or why. You only want to know what is. That's all. That is your descriptive study. But you can use the result of your descriptive study to formulate a hypothesis. But you cannot resolve the hypothesis, or you cannot test this hypothesis using descriptive study. You have to go analytic for you to be able to test your hypothesis, to know why, to know the causes, to know the risk factors, to know all these things that you want to know about the issue. Okay, that is the descriptive study. You only want to describe cases in terms of place. You see how many people are affected, what are the ages, who is, for example, you want to know the age group, you want to know the sex, the gender of the people that are affected, you want to know the places where they are affected, you want to know their occupation, you want to know their occupation, their educational status, their whatever you just describe, but you want to you are not exploring why are they affected, why are they affected, or how are they affected. You are not exploring that. So that is descriptive study for you. But you can use your knowledge of descriptive study to now state a hypothesis. For example, you go to a particular community, you find this community, most of children in that community are having diarrheal disease. But you also find out that this community, most of them are excreting outside. They defecate outside in an open space. So you also observe that they have a particular river in the community where they where they take their water and they use this water for drinking and cooking. So you are now thinking of, is it the reason why these people are coming up with diarrheal disease or not? But you are not sure. So this will be your hypothesis. You cannot make a hypothesis, state a hypothesis and say, okay, because of what I have observed, I think this diarrheal disease is caused by river, by water that is being taken from, gotten from this river. But that is your hypothesis. You now use your analytical study to test this hypothesis to find out whether it is true or not. So that is descriptive study. So these are the types of descriptive study. We have already said it. So let's look at individual descriptive studies. One, case report. What is case report? Case report is the most basic type of descriptive study. It describes the experience of a single patient or group of patients with similar diagnosis. So clinician identifies it, he identifies unusual feature of a disease or patient history, and then interface between clinical medicine and epidemiology. For example, when we say case report, let me explain it so that we understand. During your own clinical activities or clinical experience, maybe you now come up with something. You now observe something in a particular patient that you have never seen before. So now, because of this, you have seen some presentation that you have never seen before throughout your clinical career, and you have never heard of it. So because of that, you want to report this. So that report that you are reporting is called case report. You are reporting this case because it has an unusual presentation that nobody has seen before. So that is case report. Once you do that, you have done a case report. Or you have seen a particular different type of patient with similar presentation. They come with similar presentation that you have never seen before. Maybe during your clinic, you now observe this three patients that come from a particular, maybe can be from a particular environment or can be from different environment, but they come at the same time with a similar presentation that you have never seen. Or during your surgery, you open somebody and you have seen something that you have never seen before. You have never seen it, you have never heard of it. This one is totally different. So you now, because of that, you now take it and report it. So this one becomes a case report. That is a case report. Then case series. Case series can represent first clues in identification of new disease or adverse effects of exposure. For example, abdominal pregnancies, they have resulted from this case series. So case series, let me explain this one also to our understanding. Today, you have observed somebody with a particular problem or particular presentation that you have not seen before. Then maybe after 1 week or after 2 weeks, somebody again from another environment come with similar presentation that you have never seen with the patient that you have seen in the last month. Another one also present with similar presentation. So you see, you are now seeing unusual cases, but at different level, at different points, but all similar. So because of that, you now say, let me report these cases. So once you report this, it becomes a case series. Case series. That is collection of case reports, which may occur in a fairly short period of time. You have seen this report, you have seen this case, and another case, similar cases at different points in time, but close to each other. Then you now decide to report them at once. So that is case series. But if it is only one case, it is case report. But if there are more than 2 cases, they are now case series. So this is how HIV was able to, this how HIV was discovered using case series. It was discovered from homosexual patients that come with similar characteristics, similar presentation. They come with pneumocystic carinae and having different presentation that were not seen before. So as a result, this disease, HIV disease, was discovered using that case series presentation. So limitation, these are the limitation of case report and case series. The next study is correlational study. This is another descriptive study. This is also known as ecological study. So correlational study, we said, is usually conducted at the population level, not at the individual level. So what is correlational study? How do you conduct this correlational study? It uses data from entire population to compare disease frequency between different groups during the same period of time or the same population at different point in time. Let me explain this also to our understanding. If we say correlational study is the type of study that we use to compare the total population either at different points in time or at the same point in time. So if you want to compare the population at the same point in time, it means you compare population A and population B at the same point in time. For example, population A is Sokoto State population in general. So here you want to compare the population of Sokoto State with the population of Zamfara State. You see, you are comparing two different populations at the same time. So that is correlational study. So then you can also compare one population at different point in time. For example, you want to compare Sokoto state population in 2021 and still Sokoto state population in 2026. You see the same population but at different points in time. You want to compare Sokoto state population during 2020 and then 2010. You see, at different points in time, what is the problem of this population in 2020, in 2025, and then what is it in 2026? So you now compare these two, this population at these two different points in time. Example, colon cancer and meat consumption. You want to know what is the level of colon cancer and meat consumption of this population compared to the other population at different points in time, or what is the colon cancer, what is the rate of colon cancer and meat consumption of this population in 2005 compared to 2006. So whatever you find, this type of research is called correlational or ecological research or ecological studies. These are the strengths and limitations of ecological studies. So let's go on the cross-sectional study. Cross-sectional studies, these are the study designs that is also called prevalence studies. They are called prevalence survey. They are called point study or point survey because they are also called snapshot or single point study. So these are studies that you get at a particular point in time. You now do everything, you take everything at a point in time, at a specified point or specified period of time. For example, you say, I want to study, I want to do all my study, or I want to take all my data at this point. Maybe from November to December, I want to take everything there during the period. So you see, that is point study or at a particular point in time. And these correlational study, cross-sectional studies, they are of two types. We have comparative cross-sectional studies and single samples cross-sectional study. If you want to compare, you want to do a comparative cross-sectional study, it means you have two groups, group 1 and group B, group A and group B. You want to conduct study among them and you want to compare them. That is comparative cross-sectional. You want to conduct cross-sectional study on two different groups and compare. Maybe you want to know the prevalence of hypertension among rural population versus urban population. You see, they are cross-sectional studies that you are conducting among rural differently and among urban differently. Then you compare the two groups. So this type of population is called comparative cross-sectional studies. You want to conduct cross-sectional study among patients and control. You now want to know the prevalence of HIV or prevalence of advanced HIV disease among patients with this versus patient with this, or among patients in the urban area versus patients in the rural area. So you now compare them. That is comparative cross-sectional study. But if it is using only one sample, then it is single sample cross-sectional studies. So in cross-sectional study, it can be descriptive, it can be analytic cross-sectional studies. I have seen many people conducting analytical cross-sectional study, but in their samples, in their study design, they will write this is a hospital-based cross-sectional descriptive study, or a hospital-based descriptive cross-sectional study, while they are conducting analytical study. So if you can remember my explanation on the descriptive studies, if it is descriptive, you only describe. You don't go ahead to know the relationship. You don't go ahead to know the factors associated with. You don't go ahead to know the determinants. You don't go ahead to know the predictors. But whenever you are conducting a cross-sectional study, but in that study, you want to know the relationship between some variables, or you want to know the association between some variables, or you want to know the determinants of some variables, or you want to know the predictors of some outcomes. So that one is no longer a descriptive study. It is now an analytic study, analytical cross-sectional study. But if you just want to know the frequency and percentages, that's all. It means you are conducting descriptive study. Descriptive study just limited to what? Proportion, only proportion and frequency, or only description of mean, median, and mode. That's all. You just describe the mean age, then you now describe the who are affected. That is male, either so number of male and so number of female and their percentages. You describe the everything in percentage, frequency and percentages, just description. That is descriptive cross-sectional study. But if you now go ahead to know to want to know the relationship between this variable and the other variable, or relationship or association between this variable and other variable, so it is no longer a descriptive study. It is now become an analytical study. So you can have analytical cross-sectional and descriptive cross-sectional. So I hope we understand this. So these are the cross-sectional, these are the outline of this cross-sectional survey and the uses. I don't think we need to. So mostly the uses of cross-sectional study, the main use is to what? Is to generate hypothesis. I have already explained how do you generate hypothesis. You now come and observe something, but you are thinking this is the most likely cause of this outcome. So the only thing you do is to generate hypothesis, to put it in hypothesis. Once you generate hypothesis, then you use your analytical survey, analytical study to investigate this hypothesis, to now test whether your hypothesis is true or not. That's all. So analytical studies will be used to test your hypothesis, while descriptive study, you use them to generate hypothesis. When you conduct descriptive study, you use them to generate your hypothesis, because you have seen the percentages of people that have that develop the problem. You have seen the percentages of different characteristics, different variables that you have observed. So based on these percentages that you have seen, based on these frequencies and percentages, you now develop your own, you now state the hypothesis. So when you state the hypothesis, you now come back, you come to use analytical study in order to what? In order to test the hypothesis you have generated. So we have seen these are the advantages and disadvantages. The steps in descriptive study, we have already mentioned. We have seen all these soon, and we don't need to go through them again. So now analytical studies. I think it is time, already past 6. So I don't know, maybe tomorrow we'll continue. Thank you very much, and over. So we entertain some questions, few questions, then before we call it a day. So Alpha, go ahead.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, sir, for this elaborate and rich presentation. We are very grateful for your time and input. So far, we have no question from the chat box. I think maybe if we can give a minute or so for whosoever have a question or concern to deposit in the chat box. So we'll use the next 30 seconds to 1 minute for that. Okay, somebody saying wonderful presentation. Thank you so much, sir. And so many thumbs up are coming up. Thank you, sir, for the detailed lecture. Okay, I'm enjoying this lecture. These are all comments from the attendants.
Okay, I think if there is no question, the president can make his remark.
Okay, Mr. President, are you online?
Yes, sir. Good evening, sir.
Before
Yes,
then,
good evening,
there is a question that just
President.
popped up now. Before then, please, Dr. Mujitaba, can you hold on?
Okay, sir.
Somebody
yes,
wants to know, he says, this is from Xiaomi. He or she says, thank you for the presentation, sir. I need more clarification for cross-sectional studies and its type. I need more clarification for cross-sectional study and its types.
Okay. So we said cross-sectional studies are studies that you conduct without putting any, or without at a snapshot, as a snapshot, like prevalence study. You just want to know the prevalence of malaria in a particular environment or in particular population. You see, you don't need to follow any people. You don't need to add any to have any uh, um, experiments on that. Just go whatever you have seen, you just measure and explain. That is cross-sectional study, a snapshot. You conduct it, it can be over a period of time. You can say you want to know the prevalence of malaria in Sokoto between 2005 to 2006. So here, just go and see the patients that have been, all the record of the patient with malaria that I have seen, how many of them were seen and how many of them developed malaria. So this type of studies, they are cross-sectional studies. So another example also, you want to know the characteristic of something at a particular time, at a particular period of time. They are all cross-sectional. Any study that you didn't investigate, you didn't put any intervention. Without any intervention, you just want to know and describe something. That is cross-sectional study. That's why we say all the prevalence studies, prevalence of something, they are all cross-sectional studies. So we said there are two types. Usually, we have single sample. We have comparative. Comparative cross-sectional, usually there are two samples, or two or more samples. When you have two or more sample and you want to investigate, you want to conduct the cross-sectional between in all the two samples and compare them. As we have cited the example, we said we want to know the prevalence of hypertension among people in urban area versus people in rural area. You now have your two samples. Sample one is people, you have maybe 200 people in urban area and you have 200 people in rural area. You see, you have two samples. So among the 200 people in urban area, maybe 80 of them were hypertensive, while in rural area, maybe 50 of them are hypertensive. So you see, you now compare the two. You now compare the two samples that you have, sample from rural and sample from urban, and see what is the difference in their prevalence of hypertension. So that type of cross-sectional study is called comparative cross-sectional study. But if you have only one sample, your study is only on one sample, not two or more samples, then that one is just normal cross-sectional study. There you cannot even specify, you just say it is a cross-sectional study. So, but if you have two samples, two cross-sectional in two samples, then you are dealing with comparative cross-sectional study. I hope this is understood.
I hope it's also understood very much. I think, sir, you're actually making it very easy with these examples you are citing. Yes. I hope that is understood, Zaomi. Okay, I think we can go to the president's remark now. Dr. Mujitaba.
Okay, thank you so much, sir. Thank you for the lecture. Please, before I go ahead, let me recognize the presence of our section of the NAD, Dr. Shuaibu Ibrahim. Hello, sir. And also earlier, I saw the immediate past DCMAC training, Dr. Murtala Mohammed and Dr. Ibrahim Dauran, the Chairman Committee on Special Duty.
President, Prof. Murtala, not Dr. Murtala.
Yeah, Prof. Murtala, yes, sorry, sir. So I'm respected teachers, senior colleagues and colleagues. On behalf of the Executive Council and Congress of the Association of Resident Doctors, Udu Sokoto, I warmly welcome you all to the opening session of our 2026 Research Methodology Workshop. We are particularly honored by the presence of our National Secretary, Dr. Shab Ibrahim, and our immediate past DCMAC training, Prof. Murtala Mohammed. Your presence is a great encouragement to us, and we sincerely appreciate your support for this initiative. I would also like to express our heartfelt appreciation to our facilitator, Dr. Malami Muhammad Bello, who has over the years consistently dedicated his time and expertise to mentoring resident doctors in research methodology. Your commitment to developing young researchers is truly commendable, and we are deeply grateful. Recently, the resident doctors all over Udut sit up and said that they want to confer Dr. Malami with a lab membership of RB Udut, which is accepted by all the Congress, and we are going ahead to confirm it at the AGM. My sincere appreciation also goes to our moderator, Dr. Alfa Muhammad, who happens to be the chairman of the Education and Research Committee and his committee for the hard work put into organizing this workshop. To all participants, I encourage you to take full advantage of this opportunity by participating actively throughout the 8-week program. Once again, you are all most welcome, and I wish us a fruitful and successful workshop. Thank you all. Before I close, please, I would like the section of the NAT to say 1 or 2 words to our participant and our teacher who has been with us all these years, guiding us through our researches and other education matters. Thank you all.
Thank you very much, Dr. Mujitaba. Yes. The next section, please. Are you online, sir? Hello, sir. Are you online? Dr. Ibrahim. Okay. Please.
Okay, he's online. Maybe he's not
offline.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, Dr. Doran. Okay.
Sorry, Mr. President.
Yes, he's around now. He's talking.
Yeah, my attention was actually diverted to something. our teacher, our mentor, Dr. Malami, the O1 of ARD, Association of Resident Doctors Sokoto, Usmanau University Teaching Hospital Sokoto, all other colleagues and the participants, you are highly welcome. I just want to say one or two things, though my attention was diverted, but I am a regular attender of this class and we actually benefit a lot. I think this is the third time that I'm attending this session. And on behalf of the NAD, though the NAD Secretary General has just joined, I think on behalf of the NAD, we actually appreciate your time, and we also appreciate the effort being put in place by the Association of Resident Doctors Usmanau University Teaching Hospital for organizing this class. We really appreciate you, and we pray may Almighty Allah continue to uplift you and guide you, and also be at your aid in all your endeavor. Thank you so much for giving me time to say one or two things. Thank you. Dr. Mujitaba, the NAD Secretary General, is currently online. I think he just joined.
Yes,
I saw him. Yeah. So I think you give him time. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you, sir. Please, sir, the NAD Secretary, sir.
Thank you very much. Kudos to all, the facilitator and our colleagues. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, thank you so much, our Secretary of the NAD. Thank you, Dr. Alpha Muhammad. I think you can take over. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much, Dr. Ibrahim Dauran, immediate past president of the Association of Resident Doctors, FMC Gusau. So I want to one more time appreciate your efforts. And the lecture has been very, very interesting, and it was down to earth. And to all participants, we want to thank you for finding out time to be with us this evening. We also look forward to seeing you tomorrow, Sunday, the 26th of July, same time, 4:30, same venue. The link will be made available, inshallah. Thank you very much as we meet you tomorrow. Thank you all.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, sir. We really appreciate
you are welcome all. Thank you very much. We are meeting tomorrow, inshallah, this time, the same time.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Yeah.